You're about to pull into the gas station and you're making a critical mistake that could cost you thousands of dollars in repairs. I'm not talking about using the wrong octane or overfilling your tank. This is something that 90% of Volkswagen drivers do wrong every single time they refuel, and it's slowly destroying one of the most expensive and sophisticated systems in your vehicle. German engineers spent millions of dollars designing an evaporative emission control system that's supposed to last the lifetime of your car. But most VW owners are killing it prematurely without even realizing it. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes, because what you're about to learn could save you from a repair bill that exceeds $4,000. And it will literally change the way you think about something as simple as pumping gas. Last month, a guy named Robert brought his 2019 Volkswagen Golf GTI into a specialty shop with a check engine light that wouldn't go away. The diagnosis was catastrophic. His evaporative emission system had multiple failures. The purge valve was stuck. The vent valve wasn't functioning. His charcoal canister was saturated with liquid fuel. The fuel tank pressure sensor had failed. The repair estimate came to $4,300. Robert was stunned. He maintained his GTI meticulously. Regular oil changes, premium fuel, garage kept. How could this happen? When the technician started asking detailed questions about his refueling habits, the mystery was solved. Robert had been making 5 specific mistakes every single time he pumped gas. Mistakes that seemed completely harmless, but were systematically destroying his fuel system. This wasn't bad luck. This was preventable. And I'm about to make sure you never make the same mistakes. Modern Volkswagen fuel systems are engineering masterpieces. Your VW doesn't just have a gas tank and a fuel pump like cars from 20 years ago. It has an integrated vapor management system with multiple sensors, valves, and control modules that work together to capture every molecule of fuel vapor and prevent it from escaping into the atmosphere. This system is so sophisticated that it can detect leaks smaller than a pinhole. It monitors fuel tank pressure hundreds of times per second. It actively manages vapor flow during refueling, while driving, and even when your car is parked. But this complexity comes with a vulnerability. When you don't refuel correctly, you're introducing chaos into a system that requires precision. And that chaos compounds over time until you're facing a repair bill that makes you question whether you should just trade in your Volkswagen and buy something else. Mistake number 1: refueling with your engine running. This is the most common and most destructive mistake that Volkswagen owners make, and it seems so harmless that people don't even think about it. You pull into the gas station with your engine idling. Maybe you're finishing a phone call. Maybe it's hot outside and you don't want to turn off your air conditioning. Maybe you're listening to something on your audio system and you don't want to interrupt it. So you leave your engine running, get out, and start pumping gas. This feels efficient and convenient. In reality, you're causing damage that will cost you thousands of dollars down the road. Here's what's happening inside your Volkswagen that you can't see. When your engine is running, your evaporative emission control system is in active management mode. The purge valve is cycling open and closed, pulling fuel vapors from your charcoal canister and feeding them into your intake manifold to be burned in the combustion process. Your fuel tank pressure sensor is actively monitoring pressure levels and reporting them to the engine control module in real time. The entire system is operating under the assumption that your fuel tank is sealed and that vapor management is happening in a controlled environment. Now you open your fuel door and remove your gas cap. Suddenly, atmospheric pressure rushes into your fuel tank. Your fuel tank pressure sensor sees readings that make absolutely no sense because it was expecting a sealed system. The purge valve, which is actively trying to pull vacuum on your fuel system, is now sucking in outside air instead of fuel vapors. This causes the valve to work exponentially harder than it was designed to. Over months and years of this abuse, the purge valve wears out prematurely and fails. When it fails, it usually fails in the stuck open position, which means your engine is constantly getting unmetered air, causing rough idle, poor fuel economy, and check engine lights. But the damage doesn't stop there. When you start pumping fuel into your tank while your engine is running and your purge valve is cycling, you create the perfect conditions for liquid fuel to be drawn into vapor lines. Your fuel system has completely separate pathways for liquid fuel and fuel vapors. These systems are not supposed to interact. Liquid fuel goes from the tank through fuel lines to your fuel pump and eventually to your fuel injectors. Fuel vapors go from the tank through vapor lines to your charcoal canister and eventually to your intake manifold through the purge valve. When liquid fuel gets into vapor lines, it travels to your charcoal canister and saturates the activated charcoal inside. The charcoal canister is designed to absorb fuel vapors, which are gaseous. When liquid fuel enters, it floods the canister and destroys its ability to function. A saturated charcoal canister can't absorb any more vapors, which means your evaporative emission system can no longer capture fuel vapors effectively. This triggers multiple fault codes and check engine lights. Replacing a charcoal canister on most Volkswagen models costs between $600 and $1,200 depending on whether you go to a dealership or an independent shop. And here's the frustrating part. This entire failure cascade was initiated by something as simple as leaving your engine running while pumping gas. The solution is straightforward, but requires you to break a habit you might have had for years. Turn off your engine before you even pull up to the pump. As you're approaching the gas station, turn your ignition off. Coast to a stop at the pump. Put your vehicle in park, engage your parking brake, and then exit your vehicle. This complete shutdown allows your evaporative emission system to complete its active cycle and enter standby mode. Your purge valve closes and seals. Your fuel tank pressure stabilizes. All the control modules finish their current tasks and prepare for a sealed tank opening. When you then remove your gas cap, the system responds appropriately because it's in the correct state to handle refueling. Mistake number 2, topping off your tank after the pump clicks. This mistake is so common that I'd estimate 95% of drivers do it without even thinking about it. You're pumping gas and the nozzle clicks off automatically, indicating that your tank is full. But you look at the price display and decide you want a round number, or you want to squeeze just a little more in there because you're trying to maximize your range. So you pull the trigger again and add just a little more fuel. Maybe you do this 2 or 3 times until fuel reaches the very top of your filler neck. This seems logical. More fuel equals more range equals fewer stops at gas stations. In reality, you're destroying your evaporative emission system one tank at a time. When the fuel pump nozzle clicks off, it's not making an arbitrary decision. The automatic shutoff mechanism in the nozzle works by detecting back pressure through a small sensing tube. When fuel in your tank reaches a specific level, it blocks this sensing tube and triggers the shutoff. This level is precisely engineered by Volkswagen to leave adequate space in your tank for fuel expansion and vapor management. Your fuel tank is not just a container. It's part of a sealed pressure system that needs room for fuel to expand as temperatures change and for vapors to collect and be managed by your evaporative emission control system. When you top off beyond the automatic shutoff point, you're filling your tank into the vapor space. This is the area that's supposed to remain empty for vapor management. Now, when you're driving and fuel sloshes around during acceleration, braking, and cornering, liquid fuel enters the vapor lines that connect your tank to your charcoal canister. These lines are designed to carry only vapor, not liquid. When liquid fuel travels through these lines, it eventually reaches components that are not designed to handle liquid. Your vent valve, which controls vapor flow to the canister, can become stuck when liquid fuel gums up its internal mechanisms. Your charcoal canister becomes saturated with liquid fuel instead of just absorbing vapors. There's also a safety issue that nobody talks about. Gasoline expands when it gets hot. If you park your Volkswagen in the sun on a hot day after topping off your tank to the absolute maximum, the fuel in your tank heats up and expands. With no room for expansion, pressure builds up in your fuel tank. This excessive pressure can damage seals, cause fuel to leak from connections, and in extreme cases, can even cause fuel to be forced back up through your filler neck. I've seen Volkswagens where the owner consistently topped off their tank, and over time, fuel vapors escaped around the fuel cap area and damaged the paint on the quarter panel around the fuel door. This is expensive cosmetic damage caused by a habit that provides almost no benefit. The correct refueling procedure is simple. When the pump clicks off the first time, you're done. Don't try to add more. Don't round up to the next dollar amount. Don't try to reach some arbitrary number on your odometer before refueling. Just stop when the pump tells you to stop. Your Volkswagen's engineers spent countless hours calculating the exact tank capacity and vapor space requirements. Trust their engineering. The small amount of additional range you gain from topping off is completely offset by the damage you're causing to your evaporative emission system. Mistake number 3, removing your gas cap too quickly. This mistake seems almost ridiculous to mention, but the speed at which you remove your gas cap has a direct impact on your fuel system's longevity, especially on modern Volkswagens with their sophisticated pressure management systems. Most people walk up to their fuel door, pop it open, and immediately twist off the gas cap in one quick motion. They don't pause. They don't wait. They just remove it as fast as possible because they're in a hurry or because that's just how everyone does it. This rapid depressurization creates pressure shock waves in your fuel system system that damage sensors and seals over time. Your Volkswagen's fuel tank operates as a sealed pressure vessel. Depending on ambient temperature, time since last driving, and fuel level, your tank could be under positive pressure or negative pressure when you go to refuel. When you remove your gas cap quickly, you're creating a sudden pressure change that propagates through your entire fuel system. Your fuel tank pressure sensor, which is designed to measure gradual pressure changes, experiences a sudden spike or drop that's outside its normal operating parameters. Do this thousands of times over the life of your vehicle, and you're contributing to premature sensor failure. The proper technique is to slow down your gas cap removal. After you unlock or open your fuel door, pause for 2 seconds. This gives the system a moment to begin equalizing with atmospheric pressure through small vent pathways. Then, turn your gas cap slowly. Don't twist it off in one quick motion. Unscrew it gradually over the course of 3 to 5 seconds. As you're unscrewing, you'll hear a hissing sound as pressure equalizes. This is normal and expected. By removing the cap slowly, you're allowing pressure to equalize gradually, rather than all at once. If you hear a very loud hiss, or if you smell strong fuel vapors when removing your cap, that indicates your fuel tank was under significant pressure, which could suggest a problem with your vent valve or purge valve. In a properly functioning system, you should hear only a slight hiss. If you consistently hear loud pressure release, you should have your evaporative emission system checked because something isn't venting properly. But regardless of whether you have a system problem or not, slow gas cap removal reduces stress on your fuel system components and extends their service life. Mistake number 4. Using your phone while pumping gas. This mistake is about safety rather than mechanical damage, but it's so prevalent and the consequences are so severe that it needs to be addressed. You pull up to the pump, start filling your tank, and then pull out your smartphone to check messages, browse social media, or make a phone call. This seems harmless. Everyone does it. Gas stations even have TV screens now to keep you entertained while pumping, but using your phone while refueling introduces multiple risks that could result in catastrophic outcomes. The primary concern is static electricity discharge. When you handle your phone, especially in dry weather conditions, you can build up a static charge on your body. Modern smartphones have metal frames and glass screens that can facilitate static discharge. If you've been sitting in your vehicle on fabric seats, you've likely built up a significant static charge. When you get back into your vehicle to grab your phone, or when you lean against your car while using your phone, you create opportunities for static discharge. In the presence of fuel vapors, even a small static spark can cause ignition. Fire safety experts have documented multiple cases of fires at gas stations that were initiated by static discharge from people using their phones or getting in and out of their vehicles while pumping. The scenario typically goes like this. Someone starts pumping gas, gets back into their vehicle to grab their phone or to sit down while waiting, and then exits the vehicle to complete fueling. That entry and exit from the vehicle generates static electricity. When they touch the metal pump nozzle, they discharge that static electricity, which can ignite fuel vapors. The resulting fire can engulf the vehicle and the pump area in seconds. The secondary concern with phone use during refueling is distraction. When you're focused on your phone, you're not paying attention to the fueling process. You don't notice if fuel is overflowing. You don't hear unusual sounds that might indicate a problem. You don't see if someone nearby needs help or if there's a hazard developing. Situational awareness is crucial in any environment where flammable materials are present, and phones destroy situational awareness. The safe refueling practice is to leave your phone in your vehicle. Start pumping your gas, stay outside your vehicle next to the pump, and don't touch your phone until you've completed fueling, replaced your gas cap, closed your fuel door, and are ready to leave. If you absolutely must use your phone during this time, wait until the nozzle is locked in place and you're standing at least 3 feet away from your vehicle and the pump. But the safest option is simply to wait. Refueling takes 3 to 5 minutes. Your phone notifications can wait that long. Mistake number 5. Ignoring your check engine light. After refueling, this final mistake is different from the others because it's about what happens after you refuel rather than during the refueling process. You finish pumping gas, replace your cap, and start driving. Within a few miles, your check engine light comes on. Most people's reaction is to ignore it and hope it goes away on its own, or to assume it's just a loose gas cap that will resolve itself. This is a critical mistake that can turn a minor issue into a major repair bill. When your check engine light comes on shortly after refueling, it's almost always related to your evaporative emission system. The most common cause is a loose or improperly sealed gas cap. Your Volkswagen's onboard diagnostics constantly monitor your fuel system for leaks by measuring pressure changes over time. If your gas cap isn't properly tightened, the system detects a large leak and illuminates the check engine light. The fix is simple. Pull over safely, remove your gas cap completely, and reinstall it, ensuring you hear at least 3 distinct clicks. The light should turn off after a day or 2 of driving if that was the only issue. But here's why ignoring the light is dangerous. If the check engine light is on due to an evaporative emission system problem other than a loose gas cap, continuing to drive creates additional damage. A stuck purge valve, a failed vent valve, or a saturated charcoal canister causes your engine to run incorrectly. Your air-fuel mixture becomes incorrect. Your fuel economy suffers. Your engine can develop carbon buildup from running too rich. What started as a single component failure can cascade into multiple system problems if left unaddressed. Additionally, when your check engine light is on, your vehicle is no longer monitoring other systems as effectively. If a second problem develops while you're driving around with an existing check engine light, you might not know about it immediately. You could have a misfire developing, an oxygen sensor failing, or another issue that would normally trigger a warning, but you won't notice because the light is already on from your evaporative emission issue. This is why auto repair professionals say that driving with a check engine light on is like ignoring a fire alarm. Sure, it might be a false alarm, but what if it's not? The correct response to a check engine light that comes on after refueling is immediate action. First, check your gas cap, remove it, and reinstall it properly with at least 3 clicks. If the light persists after 2 days of driving, have your vehicle scanned for diagnostic trouble codes. Many auto parts stores offer free code scanning. Get the codes read and research what they mean. If the codes are related to evaporative emission system, have a qualified technician diagnose the specific problem. Early intervention when these problems first appear typically costs a few $100s for a single component. Delayed intervention after months of driving with the light on can cost thousands because the initial failure has damaged multiple related components. Protecting your Volkswagen's fuel system. The common thread through all 5 of these mistakes is that they seem harmless in the moment but create cumulative damage over time. You won't notice anything wrong after 1 improper refueling, maybe not even after 100. But over the years of ownership, these small mistakes add up to major system failures that cost thousands of dollars to repair. The solution is to develop proper refueling habits now and maintain them consistently every single time you pump gas. Turn off your engine before refueling. Stop pumping when the nozzle clicks off automatically. Remove your gas cap slowly. Keep your phone in your vehicle. Address check engine lights immediately. These 5 simple practices will extend the life of your evaporative emission system from what might be 80,000 miles with improper technique to the full lifetime of your vehicle with proper technique. That's the difference between a $4,000 repair in your ownership experience versus no repair at all. Your Volkswagen represents German engineering excellence. It's designed to be reliable, efficient, and long-lasting. But that engineering excellence requires an owner who understands how to operate and maintain the vehicle correctly. Refueling seems like the simplest task in vehicle ownership, but as you've learned today, there's a right way and several wrong ways to do it. Now that you have this knowledge, you have the power to protect your investment and avoid unnecessary repairs. Use it every single time you pull into a gas station. Your Volkswagen will reward you with years of trouble-free operation.